It was past midnight when Ethan collapsed behind the dumpster behind the restaurant, his back against the cold brick wall, a torn hoodie failing to keep out the winter chill. His hands trembled, not from cold, but from hunger. It had been 3 days since his last proper meal, and tonight, the leftover scraps he'd begged for had been thrown out with more disgust than compassion. The moonlight caught his sunken cheeks and the hopeless glint in his dull brown eyes. He used to dream big once, before life chewed him up and spat him out like gum stuck under a shoe. No one saw him now. No one wanted to. To the world, he was invisible. Just another homeless man who smelled like the street and spoke only in apologies. But what the world didn't know was that Ethan had once been a promising architecture student. A loyal son. A hopeful soul. Now, he was a ghost in a city that never looked back. Broken heart if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of unseen people rising again. Please like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Royal Stories to help us keep telling stories that matter. Broken heart. Years ago, Ethan had walked across the university stage in a crisp suit, receiving his degree with pride while his mother clapped through tears in the front row. He was going to build skyscrapers, design schools and libraries for the children who grew up in places like he did. His single mom, Maria, had scrubbed hospital floors for 18 years to keep him in school, sacrificing everything for his future. But fate had different plans. It started with Maria's diagnosis, pancreatic cancer, stage 4. The treatments were long, brutal, and impossibly expensive. Ethan sold everything, his car, his laptop, even his tools, and took on multiple jobs. He became her nurse, her son, her lifeline. When she passed away, he was broken beyond repair. Debt collectors took what little he had left. Landlords kicked him out. Friends, once close, disappeared like vapor. And just like that, he was sleeping under bridges, smelling like regret and forgotten dreams. Ethan drifted through shelters, looking for work, finding none. Each rejection chipped away at his spirit until he stopped looking people in the eye. Until he stopped believing that things could change. That he could change. The city moved too fast, and people passed too quickly. The kindness he used to give freely was now a memory, rusted and distant. Eventually, he landed a part-time janitorial job at a community center on the edge of town. It paid almost nothing, but it was indoors, warm, and it gave him access to a sink where he could clean up. The manager, a stout man named Bill, barely acknowledged him, but at least he didn't ask questions. Ethan swept floors, scrubbed toilets, and mopped the gymnasium with a quiet desperation that only the truly desperate can understand. He didn't speak unless spoken to. And no one ever really spoke to him. Except for Ava. Ava was 17, bright-eyed, and always in the computer lab. She came in after school to do homework while waiting for her mom to finish night shifts nearby. Unlike the others, she noticed Ethan. She smiled when he entered the room. One evening, she left a muffin and a note on his cart. The note simply said, "You matter." Ethan stared at it for an hour before eating the muffin, his first sweet in months. That night he cried. Not because of the food, but because someone, for the first time in years, saw him. Remembered he was human. From then on, they exchanged little gestures. Ava would leave half her sandwich. Ethan would clean her table spotless and repair the jammed printer she used. Slowly, his shoulders uncurled. His posture straightened. The look in his eyes began to return. One day, the center hosted a youth talent showcase. Ava, nervous, signed up to present a model of her dream project, an eco-school designed for low-income neighborhoods. Her passion lit up the room. But midway through her presentation, the digital model froze. Panic hit her like a truck. She stood frozen, humiliated, until Ethan, mop in hand, stepped forward from the back of the room. With trembling hands, he walked to the projector. "May I?" he asked softly. The organizers looked confused, some even skeptical. But Ava nodded. Ethan tapped a few keys and the model flickered back to life. Then, to everyone's surprise, he explained Ava's design in stunning detail. He talked about sustainable materials, light optimization, spatial flow, terms most in the room had never heard. His voice was quiet, but confident. Passionate. He spoke as if the project were his own. A hush fell across the room. Who was this man? After the showcase, a local architect named Claire approached Ethan. She had been invited as a guest judge and was captivated by his knowledge. She asked him questions about his background, his ideas. Hesitant at first, Ethan opened up. Not the whole story, but enough. Claire handed him her card. Weeks later, Ethan found himself sitting in her firm's office for an interview, shaved, dressed in donated clothes, nervous but hopeful. Claire didn't offer him charity. She offered him dignity, a 6-month internship based on merit. "Let's see what you've got," she said. From then, life began to shift. Each day, Ethan relearned how to be part of the world. He designed models, helped with drafts, and eventually led a small community park project that won local praise. He saved money, got a small apartment, even volunteered at the center that had once kept him warm. Ava, now in college, often checked in on him. "You helped me believe in myself," she once said, eyes shining. "But you reminded me what real resilience looks like." One spring afternoon, Ethan stood outside the new library he helped design, named after his mother, Maria's Light. The sun bathed the stone walls in gold. Children played nearby. He could hardly believe it. Just 2 years ago, he had been eating from dumpsters. Now, he was building something that would outlive him. Clapperboard if this story touched your heart, if Ethan's journey made you believe in the power of kindness, second chances, and unseen potential. Please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, subscribe to Royal Stories, and leave a comment telling us which part moved you the most. Clapperboard. Envelope with arrow special request. Before you go, please comment one word below, seen, if you believe no one deserves to be invisible.